타리 해피 뉴 이어 해봐.
달리 해보나요?
아이 잘했다.
Red and golden hues, like the day I fell for you. So what will you do when the sun begins to fall? I'm waiting here for you. Won't you answer my call? Don't you wanna get cozy with me? We'll dive into a reverie. Oh, don't you wanna get cozy? We'll sail across an ocean of sheets. Da 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 da. The wind it chills you right to the bone, and soon we'll say hello to evening snow. So what will you do when the air gets cold? Won't you quicken your steps and hurry on home? Don't you wanna get cozy with me? We'll dive into a
이거 갖고 있으면 복이 들어와서 복주머니라고 하는 거야.
복주머니.
이건 복주머니. 오, 뭐가 들어있어?
이게 들어있네.
엄마도 하나 먹는다. 맛있다. 하나 남았는데?
start to feel another way. 'Cause you and I rode that train till it came off the tracks. Got back on time and time again. Didn't see the flashing lights or the warning sign.
나 이거 혼자서 다 먹을 거야.
우와, 뭐가 되게 맛있는 게 많다.
Getting used to living life without you here. Feel alright most of the time. Then I start
그때 구우면 냉장고에 넣고 꽁꽁 얼리고
guy.
오븐에 살짝 구우면 맛있을 거야.
정말 어려운 요리다.
'Cause you and I rode that train till it came off the tracks. Got back on time and time again. Didn't see the flashing lights, so the warning sign. Never thought this ride would ever end.
사실이야 이거? 아, 진짜.
나 진짜 맞아요. 엄마.
짠.
I just saw a picture. You were with somebody new, smiling.